Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
The trade deadline has come and gone, and the Phillies made some key moves in their quest to finally break their playoff drought. So here are my quick reactions and quick thoughts on the Phillies trade deadline. First, the people that they lost, the big names. Logan O'Hoppe, who was a catcher, but with JT Realmuto and some other catchers in the organization, it was pretty log-jammed as far as when will he actually contribute in the major leagues. So he was the biggest name loss. He was deemed untouchable recently, which is why people were like, that's weird. You traded him after you just saying he was untouchable. But for me, I wasn't really worried about it based on the guys that they got back. Also lost Mickey Moniak, number 1 overall pick once upon a time. That will stay over his head forever. It sucks because a lot of people were like, hey, why not Mick? Maybe he could finally make it in the major leagues. He had a solid spring training, but it didn't work out for him. Hopefully it'll work out in LA. And then Ben Brown, fireballer, high strikeout rate down in the minor leagues. I hadn't actually heard of him until recently, but he's gone up people's charts recently, so a lot of people were kind of annoyed to see him go. But hey, you never know where these prospect guys are going to become, and you've got people who can help you win now, or at least make the playoffs now, which really is the main goal for the Phillies. People they picked up from the Angels in 2 separate trades, but we could combine it into one. Brandon Marsh, center fielder, and Noah Syndergaard, starting pitcher, a.k.a. Thor. Marsh is a young guy, center fielder, proven defensively, has still to figure it out offensively, but he only has gotten about 500 or 600 at-bats, and they do say that's right around what you have to get a guy before you can really start judging his offensive performance. He's had to be behind Mike Trout. Anytime he's gotten into a game, it's been because Trout is hurt, so he's really trying to earn his spot or show up, so maybe a little added pressure. Now he's in Philly, he's under team control, he's the center fielder for sure, because at the very least he is a huge upgrade defensively, which is something this team has not had in center field for years. So I love the idea of a strong defensive center fielder, and we will see if his back can come around. Right now, nobody in center field is batting that well anyway, so Brandon Marsh, here we go. Super cool beard, really big beard. Let's see if he can rock it. Also, his attitude seems awesome in the interview that he had when he was leaving the Angels. We'll see if he's tough enough for Philly, unfortunately. But based off his attitude, for me, love the guy already. And then Noah Syndergaard, former fireballer that hasn't been able to stay healthy, has a little bit of Jacob deGrom disease in the sense that he's always getting hurt. When he pitches, he's usually pretty good, but he hasn't been able to stay away from the injury bug. This year he's been healthy and he's been pitching really well. However, it hasn't been the same Thor. His speed has gone down, his strikeout rate has gone down, so he does pitch to contact more often, but at least he is healthy. He's taken away the velocity in order to have health, and you can't be successful if you're not healthy. So at the very least, he's doing that well. Comes in to be a 3rd, maybe a 4th starter for the Phillies. It solidifies the rotation a lot. Sorry, Bailey Falter, but you get pushed out of the rotation. That's fine. It also opens up options. Falter can go to the bullpen. Ranger Suarez can go back to the bullpen if necessary. Or worst case scenario, you have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Noah Syndergaard, Ranger Suarez, all capable of pitching in the playoffs. Kyle Gibson maybe comes out of the pen, or you flip-flop Gibson for the 4th game starter, and Suarez can be the long relief guy. You have Gibson throw 3, you have Suarez go 3, you go into the bullpen, which is now a stronger bullpen thanks to David Robertson coming in from the Chicago Cubs. Yes, that same David Robertson that was here with the Phillies just a couple years ago, but got bitten by the injury bug for essentially the first time in his career. Now back for stint number 2. He's excited to pitch for the Phillies, which means I'm excited to pitch for the Phillies. He is going to be a closer for the Phillies. In fact, upon recording, he actually got the save today against the Atlanta Braves, so he is already making dividends. That solidifies the back end of the bullpen, which now suddenly looks very strong. You have Sir Anthony Dominguez, Brad Hand, and now David Robertson that all have closing experience, as well as Corey Knebel. So a bunch of guys who, when they're on in the back end, can get those big outs at the end of the game. The bullpen now suddenly is looking like a strength of this team, which is awesome. Jose Alvarado is throwing the ball well. Everybody is doing their job in that back end of the bullpen, so that is fantastic to see. And then some of the biggest additions by subtractions thanks to the deadline moves. Bye-bye, Odubel Herrera and Yuri's Familia. Was not excited by the Familia trade, or the signing rather, when they first did it. So now I am glad that he is gone because he has not been good over the last couple seasons, let alone this season, which was really bad. And then Herrera, once upon a time, was one of my favorite players. He's a great guy in person, at least prior to, last year or 2 years ago at this point. He was a lot of fun, but you can't really turn away from the domestic violence issue. Hoping that he is using his second chance for the better, that he is doing something to maybe benefit somebody else. I don't know. Just fixing his ways. I don't know what I want him to do. I just want him to be a better person. But his comeback in Philly was never wanted by many fans, including myself. So I would much rather have Matt Vierling and Brandon Marsh patrolling the outfield than Aduel Herrera, who causes more headaches than makes you smile. So a lot of great things about the Phillies. Syndergaard solidifying the starting rotation, David Robertson helping out the bullpen, which is now strong, and we finally have a center fielder and a potential center fielder of the future. So things are looking up for the Phillies. They got hammered by the Braves the day of the trade deadline, beat them today upon recording. See if they can get the series victory tomorrow or whenever it is that you're watching this. Maybe you already know what the result was. Alas, Phillies looking good, looking to end that playoff drought. The goal here is to get to the playoffs for the Phillies. Anything after that will just be gravy on top. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. Do all the cool stuff that you're supposed to do to YouTube videos. Catch you later.
Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation.